Welcome, my dear friends, to this epic video where your life will be changed just by the very definition of you clicking that like button and subscribing to join the Zombies Internet Army and turning on those sexy notifications so all of you will know when I upload a brand new video to the channel. Click on the ads. Where am I going with this? Yeah, what's up, Zombies Internet? Today we're gonna be discussing Spider-Man. Lots and lots of MCU Spider-Man, and the reason all the news, be it rumors and official confirmed news. I mean, they were never officially confirmed by Marvel Studios, but they were confirmed by the big trades such as Variety or Deadline, so we can pretty much take it as a confirmation. And plus, these people have been seen on set in Atlanta where Spider-Man 3 is filming, so, take it as a fact. But some of these, I will clarify, are still rumors and not confirmed by any of the big trades or by Marvel Studios or Disney or anything. Or Sony. So, what are we discussing? Well, we're discussing MCU Spider-Man 3. And why the heck am I worried about the future of Spider-Man in the MCU and this film specifically? So, without further ado, let's get into this non-shilling of a video.
Hello, I'm Spider-Man, and today I'm gonna teach you to have swag.
The point of this video is basically for me to discuss, Spider-Man. As you guys know, I am a huge shill for Homecoming and Far From Home. I subjectively think, John Watts did an incredible job with those two movies, and I really do love them. You can put on Homecoming and Far From Home whenever you want, and I'll watch it with a huge fucking smile on my face. And it'll be like somebody is penetrating me, and I am pseudo enjoying it. But here's the thing. I enjoy them for a specific reason, and that reason is that these Spider-Man movies are these smaller scale stories where they're set in this grounded world where we follow these characters who are broken and who are much more human than we could give to Thor or Captain America or Iron Man. It was this normal human point of view perspective of this greater Marvel universe with people in Iron Man armors, gods and creatures and aliens. So, having this little kid in high school who gets bullied, who has to actually try to get a girl, who has money issues constantly, who has to balance his life between being a normal teenager, trying to finish high school, as well as being a hero of saving people as Spider-Man. It also pretty much represented what Spider-Man was in the comic books, in Marvel Comics. And that was so cool and unique, especially at the time when Stan Lee and Steve Ditko created the character. And I think a lot of that's what made Spider-Man Spider-Man, and that's what the MCU was going for, definitely, with the Civil War, Homecoming, and Far From Home. But here's the issue. I'm starting to feel like they're losing track of that, because if we go back to 2016 or 15, not sure which year, but when Kevin Feige announced that Spider-Man was getting his own trilogy in the MCU, or at least Homecoming, they thought that every movie will be like this Harry Potter scenario where every movie will explore a different year in high school until Peter eventually graduates, with the third one being the conclusion of a trilogy, also him graduating high school and starting college. So I was expecting the third one, the trilogy, to be fully following the concept of, these are smaller sales core stories about Peter Parker, about a teenager who lives in Queens, who doesn't have that special life such as Tony Stark or Thor or something like that, who just has to worry about his own problems in real life that we have to worry about, which is one of the many reasons why Peter Parker is one of, if not the most relatable character in comic book history. So them seeing oh, we're gonna do the multiverse now. So, why? So that's gonna be the second part of the discussion, and basically laying the groundwork. That's why we all love Spider-Man. He's that little guy. He's that blue-collar worker who's stuck in this world of heroes and gods, and basically a lot more humanity than the other superheroes. Not to say that Thor and Iron Man don't have humanity. They do. They have great character arcs, and Iron Man 1 is a great example of that. And so is Thor Ragnarok. But here's the problem: they are still these different planets. Thor is still the literal god of thunder and stuff like that. Peter's just a kid. Peter's just a kid who often sees his powers as not even a blessing, but more of a curse, that he has to do this. With great power comes great responsibility. Captain America Civil War pretty much established that pretty well. He has a normal suburban, bedroom, and his videos gets posted on YouTube as this spider guy who stops little criminals, nothing. He doesn't have a villain. The first villain he ever faced was the Vulture. So technically the Shocker, but you know what I'm trying to say. You get the point. So now that we covered that section, let's get into why Spider-Man works like this and should have stayed like this to what they're actually doing.
3:35 a.m. I just watched Spider-Man Far From Home and I feel sick. Is that dramatic? Yeah. Is it weird that a comic book movie made me feel kind of sick? Yeah.
So Spider-Man 3 is gonna be a multiverse film, and apparently it's gonna be heavily connected, even considered a crossover 3-parter story with WandaVision and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. And all of that will be culminating in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness being directed by Sam Raimi. Now, the current discussions and the newest rumors is that William Dafoe and Thomas Hayden, I forgot his last name, is gonna be playing Flynn Marko as Sandman and, respectively Norman Osborn as the Green Goblin. They'll be returning from the Sam Raimi trilogy. And, the confirmation is that Alfred Molina is back as Dr. Octopus and Jamie Foxx as Electro from The Amazing Spider-Man 2. And there's also, rumored that, Voss from Far Cry 3 will be returning as Scorpion from Spider-Man Homecoming. And another basically confirmed news is that Mysterio is also, Jake Gyllenhaal as Mysterio is also back in Spider-Man 3. So obviously I believe they're setting up the Sinister Six here, and maybe Peter's gonna have to face them alone through the entire movie until the multiverse opens with Doctor Strange, because also Doctor Strange is also confirmed to be in the movie, which really lends itself to, confirming that this is that 3-parter story that Kevin Feige was talking about for some reason. But here's the question: why aren't we just getting maybe the Scorpion as the main villain, and maybe after the trilogy, and then we have an entire movie where Peter has to deal with his secret identity issues, graduate high school, start at the end of the movie we see him apply for college? Why aren't we seeing any of that? Why are we going with this multiverse, Doctor Strange, magic, people and villains coming from the multiverse, from different Spider-Man movies that were previously established, instead of establishing our own super villains for this version of Peter Parker? Because this version of Peter Parker only has, if you don't count side villains from Homecoming, he only has 2 main villains, which are the Vulture and Mysterio. So big rumors were that either Kraven or Dimitri, aka Chameleon, would be the main villain of Spider-Man 3, which I think they should have done definitely. We want to see those villains on screen. But now I'm starting to think we are definitely not getting that. We're getting a multiverse story where Peter travels across the multiverse, meets his different version of himself, played by Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield respectively, and meeting Mary Jane Watson, played by Kirsten Dunst, and Emma Stone playing Gwen Stacy, which are also apparently confirmed to be returning. Why? Why aren't we just getting a normal, again, suburban kid who's staying close to the ground, being that friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, as they called it in Homecoming, not really fighting a extraterrestrial threat traveling across time and dimensions, but instead of following a villain who's a hunter, like Kraven, or an assassin who's maybe out to kill someone, like Chameleon? It feels like losing the main concept of what MCU Spider-Man is supposed to represent and what is supposed to be MCU Spider-Man, the way they established in Captain America Civil War, the way John Watts further established in Spider-Man Homecoming, and the way they doubled down on that, managing to upscale it a bit, but still doubling down, and this is just a high school story with friends in Spider-Man Far From Home. So and we finally see him becoming his own 100% true hero that we saw at Spider-Man Far From Home, and now we're seeing him, the aftermath of him becoming that, and seeing the entire movie him being that. But it feels like there'll be another team-up story with Doctor Strange and the other Spider-Man, who will maybe teach him a thing or two, and then they'll be fighting the Sinister Six. That's what I'm guessing they'll doing, some villains from this MCU, another villain from the Raimi-verse, and Electro from the TASM-verse. So I'm guessing that's what they're doing. I don't know why they're doing this. It feels like a not really doing what MCU Spider-Man purpose was supposed to be. After Sony rammed that character into the ground with Spider-Man 3, we got and The Amazing Spider-Man and definitely The Amazing Spider-Man 2. We managed to get a reboot that managed to stay faithful to the character, not overtread the same plot points that the first two, like, well, a trilogy and an attempt at a trilogy with The Amazing Spider-Man treaded. We were actually getting something different and something unique, and revitalized my love for Spider-Man, and to see like these smaller scale stories where Peter is not the main superhero of New York like the Amazing Spider-Man universe and the original Sam Raimi Spider-Man universe had to establish because Sony didn't have the rights to other characters. So like, now seeing the very concept of, he's gonna be traveling across the multiverse, fighting multiple villains, teaming up with Doctor Strange and probably Scarlet Witch, because apparently it's confirmed to be. And like, go back to what Marvel Studios and Kevin Feige said in Investors Call. WandaVision, Doctor Strange, and the Multiverse of Madness, and Spider-Man 3 are these like crossover three-parter, heavily connected stories, and that's the very reason we have Doctor Strange in this movie. And remember, Sam Raimi is directing Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I'm guessing there's a purpose for that as well. So that's why I'm not really excited for any of this. Not at all. It feels like a betrayal of what MCU was originally doing with Homecoming and Far From Home. But maybe this is just me. I would say this is lies in the head like of objective thinking, as because this was what was established previously before they started going into this random direction with a third movie. And that's why this big shill of Far From Home and Homecoming. Now, Homecoming, it's objectively good. Far From Home, it's objectively bad. But subjectively, I really love Far From Home. That's why I'm a big shill of those two movies. But I recognize the faults that Far From Home has and some of the faults that Homecoming has. So, like, that's all I have to say in this video. Hope you, Zombies Internet, enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to leave that like button to show your support. That would mean a lot. Subscribe to Job that has joined the Zombies Internet Army and turn on notifications so you'll be notified when I upload a brand new video to the channel. If we can get past 100 subscribers and I can do that special, that will be incredible, Zombies Internet. So keep pushing. We'll get to that incredible 100 very soon. Hell yeah. Follow me on social media, Instagram, Twitter, Storyfire in the description below, as well as our Discord server, Wayne Manor, in the description below as well. Be sure to check it out. As well, check out our official podcast, Thumpcast, in the description below as well, and the different YouTube channels who I often collaborate with, which are TSV, SK Comics, and Batnik, in the description below. If you guys enjoyed this video, go check them out, and follow me on there, subscribe and everything. This intro has been long enough. See you in the next video, Zombies Internet, and bye!